Hi y'all, welcome to the Mathlab channel. This will be our first video and this is on factoring. So there are essentially two ways you can factor a polynomial. And the easier way is to use that big X method or that diamond method. That's usually what some people call it sometimes. But take this example. Take 3p squared minus 2p minus 5. Now, what you want to do is that big X, and you want to put the first term and the last term, you want to multiply those two and put it on the top. So that's negative 15. And you want to put the second term, which is negative 2, on the bottom. So now you want to think, what are two numbers that multiply to negative 15 and add to negative 2? Well, that's going to be 3 and negative 5, right? 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, and 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Okay, now the first term is not 1, so what you have to do is take those two numbers on the left, the 3 and the negative 5, and you're going to divide them by the first term. So whatever that term is, that's what you're going to divide it by. You're going to take the 3 and divide by 3, the negative 5 and divide by 3, and then this simplifies to 3 divided by 3 is going to give us 1. And negative 5 divided by 3, well, that doesn't really go into anything. It doesn't simplify further, so we just keep it that way. Now, what you want to do is you want to put those two numbers that are on the left in parentheses. So your final answer will look like this. You're going to take p, because that's a positive 1, is going to be plus 1, times, and now that 3 on the bottom is going to come out to the front, and it's going to be 3p, and that top is minus 5, so it's going to be 3p minus 5. And that's your answer. Now you can always check your answer by expanding things out with the FOIL method. So 3p times p is 3p squared. Then p times negative 5 is negative 5p. Then your inner terms, 1 times 3p is going to be 3p. And the last term is going to be 1 times negative 5, which is just negative 5. So now you want to combine like terms, 3p squared. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2, so negative 2p minus 5. And when you look at that, that's the exact same answer as when you first started. So you know that your factoring is correct. Now, I want to show you this other way. Now, this would be like a longer way, but it's essentially the same thing. So we're going to take the same problem, 3p squared minus 2p minus 5. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the big X. A times c, first times third term is negative 15. The second term is negative 2. Two numbers that multiply to negative 15 but add to negative 2 are going to be 3 and negative 5. So now what you want to do is those two left terms that you have, that 3 and the negative 5, you want to include them with the variable p. So you're going to have 3p squared plus 3p. That's where that 3 comes from. And then you're going to have minus 5p. Minus 5. So essentially, you're rewriting that negative 2p from the original equation. And you're sort of just including it with the two numbers on the big X. So now you want to separate those two things. You want to group them. Now you're going to have 3p squared plus 3p. So the second one is 5p, negative 5p minus 5. And now you want to find the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor between 3p squared and 3p is just the 3p. So now you have 3p. To get to 3p squared, you need another p. Now you have 3p. To get to 3p, you need a 1. You're going to do the same thing with the other one. So find the greatest common factor between negative 5p and negative 5. Well, the same thing in both of them is going to be a negative 5. So that's what you want to take out. You want to take out a negative 5. So now you have a negative 5. To get to negative 5p, you're going to need a p. Now, you have a negative 5. To get to negative 5, you're going to need a 1. So it's going to be plus 1. And now, because you have the same things in the parentheses, you have a p plus 1. You just want to take the things on the outside, so the 3p and the negative 5, and you want to form a parentheses around those. So you want to bring those together, and you're going to get 3p minus 5, and that p plus 1 just stays. And what do you know? It's the exact same answer as before. Yay! So this is like the longer way. It's still a little bit more annoying, but either way is going to give you the exact same answer. Okay, now let's try a second example. 3x squared minus 22x plus 7. So you want to start this the same way. You want to do the big X. The first term times the third term is going to be 3 times 7. That's going to give you 21. That goes on top. The second term is going to be negative 22. That goes on the bottom. So now think, two numbers that multiply to 21 but add up to negative 22. Well, that's going to be just negative 21 times negative 1. Now we're going to try this problem with the last method. So the second method. So let's see. We have negative 21 on the left side and a negative 1 on the right side. So we're going to rewrite those so that we can get the second term. So now we're going to have 3x squared minus 21x minus x plus 7. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to break those two up. So we want to group them. So we're going to get 3x squared minus 21x. Then we're going to group the second one. We're going to get negative x plus 7. We want to find the greatest common factor between 3x squared and negative 21x. And that's going to be a 3x. So to get to 3x squared and you have a 3x, you want to multiply by x. Same thing, you want to multiply by 7 to get to 21. Okay, now the greatest common factor here between negative x and 7 is going to be a negative 1. So you're going to have negative in parentheses, you're going to have an x and a negative 7. Right? All we did was take out a negative. Okay, now you want to group the things on the outside and you want to keep the x minus 7 the same. So we're going to get 3x minus 1 and that x minus 7 stays the same. And there you go. That's how you do it using the second method. Okay, now we want to try it with the other method. The other method is a lot quicker, so let's take a look. We're going to do the exact same problem. So 3x squared minus 22x plus 7. And you're going to try the big X, and we're going to have the first term times the third term goes on top, so that's 21. The second term goes on the bottom, so that's negative 22. Now we're going to think of two numbers that multiply to 21 but add to negative 22, and that's negative 21 and negative 1. Now, because your first term is not a 1, you're going to take that negative 21 and divide by 3, and the negative 1 and divide it by 3. Now, negative 21 divided by 3 simplifies to 7. So let's simplify this big X. And that negative 1 over 3 stays the same because it can't be simplified any further. Now you're going to take that left side of the big X and you're going to put that in parentheses. So you're going to have x minus 7 And that right side of the big X, this is going to be your final answer. The right side of the big X, that 3 is going to come out to the front. So it's going to be a 3x. And that minus 1, you're just going to put it right besides that. So minus 1. And that's your final answer. And it's this exact same thing as the previous, as the answer we got for the previous method.